G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Welcome to late night pouring. It's nearly 10 p.m. and I wanted to try something. I want to try the Platinum Ultra Clear, which is a very thin resin with the Fairy Flower. Now I did one a little while back. It was kind of okay. That was it there. I want to see if I can improve on it. They've got very small petals in the middle. Still quite pretty, but I just want to see if I can improve on that. And I waited 15 minutes for that one before I decanted. This one I've waited for 25 minutes, so an extra 10 minutes. I've got my white in here. I'm using my Bloom paste. And I've got another big cup of white here. It's quite transparent. I've got a little bit of glitter in here, which is a mixture of the PDB Creative Studio Allure and this gorgeous color changing called Disco from Color Passion. So those two are in there with just a tiny bit of resin to make a paste. Got my piping bag ready. I'm going with some pinks and purples today. Look at this, look how bright this is. I wish there was like just a normal pink. I think this is like a fluoro pink, but it's the only pink I've got. Apart from magenta, but there's not really pink. All right, so Luminous Opera, and these are acrylic inks, not alcohol inks, acrylic inks by Holbein. You really need to have a really quite highly saturated ink for this technique, rather than an alcohol ink, which is, you know, mainly alcohol. And then I'm going with Quinacridone Crimson. Let's make sure there's no little hard bits around there. So I'm just going to put the same amount in with all of them to begin with. And Dioxazine Violet. We'll see how that goes. Now most of them are, well, 2 out of the 3 are pink and there's 1 purple, so I may need to add a little bit more purple. So we'll just see what happens. So I'm also cutting back on my white pigment paste a little bit on this one, just to see if I can get like a smaller, well, not a smaller petal, but a less squished petal. I know it's hard to explain, but sometimes they're quite squished looking. I want to try and get like a more of a open, puffy petal. Oh, I don't know. I've had lots of the squished ones. I just want to try something different. Okay, so that's it there. That's the purple, and let's try the crimson. And I know they all look really dark in the cup, but they're still quite transparent. I just don't want the 2 pinks to take over from the purple, that's all. Because I think the red and the purple are going to go kind of purple anyway. And let's have a look at this hot pink one. It may need more because it's quite a quite a transparent colour. It sure is. Stirring, stirring, stirring. And it looks quite dark on the side of the cup there, I guess. But when I put it on the stick, I can hardly see it. Let's just do another couple. Some colours you just need to add a little bit more, like a yellow. Yellow and pinks tend to not be quite as highly pigmented as the others, and you may need to just add an extra little bit of colour. It still looks quite transparent, but I'm going to go with it. What about you? Yeah, like I said, I'm going to try and keep them all a little bit more on the light side, on the not so bright side. Take a walk on the wild side. All right. Oh, look, it's late. I'm rambling. Should be getting ready for bed. I get up early, you see, with my dogs, so I tend to go to bed early, but I wanted to get this done. And then, you know, waiting nearly half an hour for the resin, it's just got, it's getting late. All right, what will I do, what will I do? All right, let's layer. Let's layer. Maybe we'll just do 2 layers, though, hey? Let's just do 2. Let's see how that goes. Hoping the colours all look pretty together. Some colours just don't work, really. Like Purple and yellow. Purple and yellow do not do well together, do they? Oh, as far, well, in my experience, purple and yellow, yeah, not good. What other colours? What other colours have you found that just do not work together? Alright, that's the crimson in, and then the purple, we'll just pour that on top. Now the mould I'm using is the large chunky live edge coaster mould. I will link that for you, and I'll also link resincourses.com where I learnt this recipe from. Give it a bit of a stir. So yeah, I'll link that down there as well for you. And I'm just going to do a dump. A dump. And maybe just swirl it a bit. Just a bit. Oh gosh. See if we can just distribute some of that pink, which seems to be down the bottom. Okay, that's it. Now while that sits there for a minute, I will get my white ready. Because I think I've been like using too much colour, like too many drops. And then when I look at it, it just almost looks like just really dark, muddy colour. So I thought, oh, I'm going to try and use a few less drops of colour. Because it's only a little bit of resin, you know, that I've got in each cup. It's not a lot. I'm just trying to get the bubbles up off the surface of the mould. That's what I'm just trying to do there. All right, now we've got the white. It's quite a heavy white, I guess. It's not opaque, quite opaque, but it's not very transparent either. But yeah, my bloom paste is, I think it's a bit stronger than most pigment pastes. You could probably use half the amount that you would normally use with other brands of pigment paste, I found. Which is good because a bottle will last you double the time, won't it? Well, yeah. I've been experimenting with it for quite a while now. You would have seen me experimenting with it. And yeah, really happy with it. Okay, now I'm going to pop that. Got that in my little piping bag. I'll just snip the end off. Don't snip it off over the end of your mould in case it drips. Now, oh, I forgot, this is quite a thin resin, so hopefully it's not going to just drip out too much. Oh gosh. I think, and while I get my rhythm going, it's probably going to be a bit messy, because it is such a thin resin. But once I get into a rhythm and it starts to empty a little bit, it might be easier. It might or it might not. I don't know. But yeah, it's a very thin resin, low viscosity. There we go. Now, is that better? Not really. I'm wishing it to be. It's not really. So yeah. Just see what happens. I'm not squeezing. I should have actually cut the hole a little bit smaller. I kind of forgot that this was a very thin resin. And I was waiting for it to thicken up. I was. All right, here we go. Again, I'm going to go between each of those where there's a little dark spot with no colour in it. And again, and I'm not going to do as many rows as I normally do either. Try to cut back on the amount of paste, try to cut back on the amount of white used. And that's it. Restrain, restrain, restrain. We'll see if that makes any kind of difference at all to the shape of my petals, so they're not so squished. Now I'm going to leave that. I'm going to pour in my white. It's starting to warm up. Just make sure I give it a really good stir in case anything has settled. All right, and we go for the dump. Find the middle. Dump. Oh my gosh. Oh, I went a bit crooked. It don't matter. Now, I'm going to wait for it to close up a little bit. And then I'm going to add my glitter. So yes, I'm just gonna wait a bit. Shall I wait a bit? No, let's not. Normally I wait till it's closed, but let's just see what happens if I do it now. It's not gonna make any difference, I don't think, as to when I do it. I don't think it'll make one iota of difference. I'm just gonna let it fall this time instead of pushing it and poking it. I'm just gonna see if that makes any difference. Oh, I'm not really getting any more out of there. Actually, that'll do. That'll do. Go down. I said I wasn't going to poke you down, so go down on your own, please. Oh, gosh. Maybe I need to just poke the top. There we go. It's gone. So the thing with glitter, though, it wants to float. Go down. Shoo. It wants to float. All right, so it's closing up pretty fast. And here comes my glitter. It's going to come back up to the top. Go back down, please. Oh, it's okay. I'm sure some of it will float and some of it will, hopefully some of it will sink. And hopefully it's not all going like that on the bottom. Hopefully it'll kind of stay. You just don't know because it's white. All right, so that's pretty much it. Wait, I see you. I see you. You just get back down there, please. Stop being cheeky. All right. I told you, it's late. I'm rambling. I'm going to leave that now. I'm going to cover it and tuck it in for the night. And I'm going to tuck the doggies in. And I am off to bed. Dreaming about unmolding in the morning. And hopefully that it will work. Let's hope so. All right, see you in the morning. Righto, so it's the next day. This has cured. Let's just hope it looks nice. Let's hope it works. Now, I can see here that I have something going on here. See that little edge there? Although you won't see that on the front because the back's wider. So that's there. And then we've got this area here. Can you see that? That's about that wide there. You see that? And then we've got this circle here, which is about that wide. So that kind of tells me that there's something good going on there, but I don't know about the actual shapes of the petals yet. So yeah, it's always a surprise when you get up in the morning, eh? So yay, it's unmolding day. And race out to the studio and see what we've got. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good and then we're depressed. But anyway, it is what it is. That's resin for you. Let's see what we've got, you guys. Let's see what we've got. Oh, wow. That is adorable. See that edge there? I love that edge. I always try for that edge. See, that's this wide bit that I was telling you about. So you can see that there's, can you see that there's that section and then there's this section? So it's mimicked it on the other side. This section is this section because it's wider on this side than it is on this side, see? Oh my gosh. Well, my glitter's a little bit out, but I don't mind. It looks natural. I've overfilled it a bit though, haven't I? Look, I need to trim my edges. Oh, I need to trim my edges. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Loving those colours. This really bright pink kind of got a bit lost. We'll have to add a bit more of that. I mean, you can see a little bit of it in there, but basically it's got lost. So what we need to do is just, because I've made up a little bit too much resin, I just need to trim the edges with my little nippers. I just get these on Amazon. What are they called? What are they called? Gosh, I can't even remember what they're called now. small clippers. I can't remember what they're called. If you try and do this when your resin's too soft, the resin gets caught in there and then they're difficult to clean out. So you've got to take care of your little tools, don't you? I'm just going to go around this real quick and then I can show you in some better light. But yeah, I'm glad it's worked. It's not, still the inner petals there aren't amazingly shaped, like they're not puffy like I get sometimes, but it's certainly pretty good still, you know, especially for people that can't get, I guess, all the resins that everyone else is using. If you can get the platinum ultra clear, then at least you can still do this. I think that's about it. That'll do for now, won't it? Look at the mess I've made. All right, but yeah, loving the colours, loving the colours. So less white, you guys, less white. Really works. Now, I'll show you the difference between this one and this one. This one was using the same amount of white paste. You may remember me trying this one where I was reducing the white paste. So I've got a very similar edge. But if you look at the petals on the inside, that's what I mean by puffy. They're sort of bigger. And then see how this one's really fine and more flat looking? They're not as defined, I guess. See the difference? But yeah, like I said, if you can't get any other resin, then you know, at least the ultra clear will work for you. This was the Art Pro. It's a thicker resin, so I guess it's keeping the petals suspended more, whereas the ultra clear is still quite thin. I might have to wait a bit longer. And I could see that it was thinner, you know, when I was dropping the drops in from the bag, you could see that they were just pouring out. So maybe I'll try again, keep it a little bit longer, sitting a bit longer so it thickens a little bit more, because I haven't got much Art Pro left. Anyway, enough of me chatting. I'll show you in another light, and then I'm going to go and get my coffee for the morning because I haven't had it yet. I was too excited to see what was going on under this mold. It's very bright light there. I don't really like that light. I always come up here and we'll look at it in more of a natural light. There you go. Loving the blending on those edges there. I guess it's this particular way like this is more like the dragon flower. It's similar to the dragon flower, how it's got that edge and then the petals on the inside. My center's sparkling away there. It's a good mix of colors, isn't it, with the purple and the pink. So yeah, happy with that one. But yeah, I will keep experimenting with the ultra clear. Let it sit maybe just a little bit longer, see if I can get it a little bit thicker. Oops. And I'll see how we go with that then, hey? But yeah, really happy with it. So, yay! Okay, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. And I will see you all again real soon for the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.